Welcome back to another episode of Center Court. I'm your host, Alex Meacham. We're going to get right into it today. We're going to talk about Cincinnati high school basketball. Now, one of the things that I do is I go out to about 9 basketball games a week. Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. If I have time, I'll watch freshman, JV, and varsity. So I get about 9 games in a week. So I've seen a lot of high school teams play this year. And one thing I want to do today is talk about the Ohio High School Basketball Tournament. Now, this season has been a little bit strange because of the weather. Snow and cold has really prevented a lot of games from going on. I think there were about 4 or 5 high school basketball games that were canceled this year due to the snow and cold. But no matter what, on February 21st, the high school basketball tournament will go on. There are a couple teams that I've watched this year that I think everybody needs to watch out for. One of which is Moeller High School. The other, Roger Bacon, Lakota West, and Elder. I picked these teams because I think they have the personnel, they have great coaching, and at any point they could go on a big run and I think make some noise in the tournament. Now, with that being said, we're going to go through all the brackets right now. So let's start with the Division I brackets. In the Division I Cincinnati District, I think there's a really good matchup that could occur between LaSalle and Turpin High School. Now, if Turpin has a chance to advance past Mason. Now, Mason's very, very well coached, but Turpin has one of the best basketball players in the city, and Zach McCormick, who we interviewed on our show. If Turpin happens to make it past them, they'll have a chance to play LaSalle. I think that would be a great basketball game because LaSalle plays great defense, very well coached, but Zach McCormick's one of the best players on the court. Now, moving on to the District 2 part of the brackets, there's some interesting matchup. Fairfield is one of them, and also Walnut Hills High School. I could see those two making it out and playing each other. Fairfield has a new coach. He's been there a couple years and does a great job, has a nice system set up, and Walnut Hills has been a huge surprise this year. I think they've definitely overachieved, losing some players, some great players from last year. And they're doing a really nice job, and whoever makes it out of there, whether it's Walnut or Fairfield, they'll definitely have their hands full moving forward, as the lower part of the bracket, Hubert Heights Wayne, could come out of there. Moving along to District 4, another interesting one, this team that I really like, Lakota West, they have great personnel this year. They could, if things work out, they might play Oak Hills. Oak Hills is very, very well coached by Mike Price, one of the best high school coaches in Cincinnati, who has a pretty tough road. They play Milford first round. If they get by them, they could potentially play Sycamore and advance on to play Lakota West. In the lower bracket of the District 4, there's going to be a great game that I think can occur, and that's Elder versus Middletown. Elder's definitely a team to watch with Devin Pike, Brad Miller, and Peyton Ramsey. They're very tough. Schoenfeld's one of the best coaches in the area as well. Middletown is very tough, having one of the best players in the city. So whoever makes it out there, plays Lakota West potentially, that could be a great game to watch at the Cintas Center. Now, moving on to District 3, this is interesting because Moeller, I think, is one of the best teams that I've watched all year. Moeller could end up playing Lakota East. Lakota East is a very interesting team because they have a lot of great players on their team. They do have some young players that are kind of getting acclimated to the system, and if they're playing well at that time, look out. They could be a very tough opponent for Moeller. Moving on to Division 2. Division 2, there's some interesting matchups in District 2. McNick High School's been playing some really, really good basketball. I'm picking McNick to come out of this bracket. They have some tough competition if they play Wyoming. Wyoming's very, very well coached. They have a good kid in Ahmad Frost. They could get out there and play potentially Dayton Thurgood, who's always, always good. They're loaded with talent. Now, looking at the Division 3 bracket with District 4, this one again, I'm going to go with Chaminade. I think Chaminade is definitely very talented this year with C.J. Riazi. They could come out of this bracket and make a really, really nice run in Division 3 basketball. Also in the District 2 part of the bracket, we have Summit Country Day. I think Summit, they've always historically done very, very well in the tournament. The last couple years they've made great runs. They won the state championship the one year. I think they have a very good squad this year. Also very well coached by Coach Bradley, who played in the NBA. They also have a unique opportunity to make a nice run. And now, moving on to the other part of the District 3 bracket, this is my personal pick, my high school, Roger Bacon High School, which obviously I'm probably biased towards, but I think Roger Bacon can win the entire Division 3 state tournament. But one thing they have to do is get past Summit. Later on, I think they will play them up in Dayton. So if they can get past that game, I think they'll have a lot of steam, and this is the year that I think they have a team that could win the entire state tournament. As far as the rest of the bracket, you have Division 4. One of the teams that I'm going to pick, they have not necessarily had a great season, but Seven Hills High School in Division 4, they're always interesting because they're coached by Willie Hill, who's one of the best coaches in Cincinnati. And he always, for whatever reason, he's a great coach, he has his teams peaking and they're ready to go when the state tournament kicks up. Last year they made a great run. I think this year they'll do the same. They've got some good pieces and they'll make a great run. So that's pretty much my wrap-up right now on the brackets for the 2014 Ohio High School tournament. If I was to pick right now, out of this area, I could see Moeller High School winning the state tournament. I think they have the pieces, they have the senior leadership. Grant Benzinger, Jack Anton, Adam Gigax, Trey Hawkins. They've got a lot of pieces, I think, that have the experience to win the state championship. And also Roger Bacon High School. I'm picking Roger Bacon to come out of the brackets and win the state champion. So I'm hoping that we'll have 2 high school basketball teams out of this area cutting down the nets. So we're coming back and we're going to talk a little bit about the Kentucky tournament bracket and how the Kentucky tournament is different from the Ohio and how that breaks down. And we have an expert coming in for that. Welcome back to Center Court. And like I said, I want to bring in our expert. We're going to talk a little bit about Kentucky basketball and specifically the Kentucky basketball tournament. We have here freshman at Thomas More College, Drew Mays. What's going on?
Not much.
You doing okay?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your season so far.
We're doing pretty well. We're 11-2 in the conference, I think, which is what really matters. As long as we finish well in the conference, that's how we get our tournament berth. So,
all right.
We win 7 or 8 in a row, I think.
And how are you playing?
Playing pretty well. Well enough.
Yeah. Tough transition being a freshman, going from high school. You played at Ryle High School.
Yeah, just the role I have to play. It changed, but I'm used to it by now, obviously. Towards the end of the season, so.
All right. So one thing I want to talk about today is Kentucky basketball. There's a difference between Ohio high school basketball and Kentucky, specifically when it comes tournament time. And a lot of our viewers here are from Cincinnati, and I think the state of Ohio, doesn't have a great understanding with how Kentucky basketball, especially tournament time, how that works. So why don't you break that down for everybody and explain to us what happens?
Well, the biggest difference is there's not divisions. Like you were just talking about with Ohio, there's what, 4 divisions?
Right.
Kentucky, it's all one, so there's really just one state champion. We do it's separated differently from districts, each district and then the region. So in the entire state, there are 64 districts and 16 regions. So there's about 4 districts, give or take, in each region.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the year, actually in about a week from now, usually is when they start doing the districts. They'll have the district tournament, 4-team tournament. The top 2 move on to the regional. So if you win one game, you win your first game in the district tournament, regardless of whether you win or lose your next one, you're going to move on to the region. The regional tournament usually consists of 8 teams, and the winner of that region goes on to state. And then in Kentucky, you want to go to state, you get to go play in the Sweet 16, you get to play at Rupp. And so the winner of each region, 16 regions, all goes and plays there, and then the winner of that, you have one state champion.
Now you just said something, and I want our viewers to understand, a lot of the Kentucky basketball players really view, and they just have this sense that if they play at Rupp, it's really special. And you told me earlier that was one of your goals, was to eventually play at Rupp. What makes it so special?
Just the history of it. I mean, Kentucky plays there. Everybody is crazy about UK around here. UK basketball, especially when you get down towards Lexington. Everybody loves the Cats, so it's just kind of like.
Are you a UK fan?
I'm not as hardcore as a lot of people. I mean, I want to see them do well, but if they lose, I'm not gonna be too been out of shape about it. But
have I converted you into a Bearcat fan?
maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
I'm kind of even on the two right now, I think.
And the Bearcats are doing better than
Mhm.
UK right now.
Yeah,
in the polls, right?
Yeah,
Right.
it's first time in a while.
Right. We'll take it though.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Just lost to SMU though. That's not.
That was
too
a tough
impressive.
game.
Yeah.
That was a tough game.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit when you were in high school. What happened, towards the end of your senior year, tournament-wise? You ended up playing Covcath,
Yeah.
I believe, and then if you were to beat Covcath, what then would have happened?
We lost to Covcath in the first round of the regional tournament. We were the runner-ups in our district, so we went on. We were a 2 seed. We played a 1 seed. The 1 seed in the draw happened to be Covcath. We lost to Covcath in the first round, but if we had won, we would have moved on, played another game, and then if we would have won that game, we would have moved on to the championship. And if we could have won that game, we would have gone to state. So
To Rupp.
yeah.
And that would have been special.
Yeah.
Good deal. So some of the top teams in the Northern Kentucky area this year, definitely Newcath, Covcath, Holmes, Dixie, just to name a few, are some of the top schools right now in Northern Kentucky. We're going to get into next show. We'll talk a little bit more about who we think is going to win and make it far in the tournament. But do you think a school like Newcath or Covcath or any of those schools has a good opportunity to make it to Rupp?
I think Newcath and Covcath definitely do. I think Holmes and Dixie, as you said, I think both of those teams are good as well, but I think that Newcath and Covcath are probably a step above that. Ballard out of Louisville, who's considered one of the basketball powerhouses in Kentucky, Newcath had them down earlier in the season by double digits, I think, in the second half, so I think that they could definitely make a run if they got down to state. And then also Covcath has been ranked in the top 10 all year in the entire state, so I think that's who, if I had to pick, I would say one of those two would come out of the 9th region, and then I think they could have a good shot at having a good run in the state tournament.
And historically in the state of Kentucky, do you think that Northern Kentucky, Louisville, Lexington, who's had the strongest high school basketball programs?
Historically, probably Louisville. I think that's the 7th region in Louisville is what it is, and they always have. That's a really tough region to get out of there. I think there was a period recently where if you made it out of the 7th region, they just assumed that's who the state champion would be. But
Gotcha.
9th region's represented pretty well in the past 5 or 6 years with Holmes, who
And
made it down there.
What year did they win it?
I want to say 2009, but they made it down there more than once. They won it 1 year, but they also got down to Rupp a couple times in 3-4 year span. So
good deal. So I want to thank Drew Mays for coming on the show. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks.
All right. And then next episode, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about specific teams that'll be in the Kentucky tournament. But up next, we're going to have a new feature here. We're going to talk about the Cincinnati Prep. Did you just laugh?
No.
Don't laugh. The Cincinnati Prep Pretzel Report. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now here with the Cincinnati Prep Pretzel Report. So let me explain this to you. Here's how it all started. Like I've said before, I attend about 9 basketball games a week. So I sit through freshman, JV, and varsity basketball games, and honestly, sometimes I get a little bored. So one day I went to the concession stand and I bought a soft pretzel because I was pretty hungry. And I ate it, and it was a pretty bad soft pretzel. So I tweeted about it. And in my tweet, I said that this particular school did not have a very good soft pretzel. Well, people started to retweet it and say, you need to go to this high school and get this pretzel. And I'm thinking, man, this is a pretty big deal. So the next school I went to, the next week, I had a good soft pretzel, and I tweeted about it. And after I tweeted about it, people started retweeting it. And it just became one of those things that every game I went to had a soft pretzel, and I tweeted about it. Then I started putting it on Instagram and then Facebook, and I guess it just took a life of its own. So now we have the Cincinnati Prep Pretzel Report. So let me tell you a little bit. We've got some sample pretzels here, and this one's already been cooked here. Let me talk to you a little bit about what goes into making a good soft pretzel. And I see some schools make some mistakes. Now, some schools, they basically don't cook the soft pretzel all the way. I've had some where the middle of it is still frozen. You get an F, okay? You get an F if you do that. I've had some where they've cooked it too long in the microwave, and it's like this one here. It's like a desk. That's unacceptable. Now, I've been to some schools, and what they do is, they take that soft pretzel and they put it in the rotisserie machine, and it's golden, right? And it just circles around, and you can see it from, there's 3 people ahead of you in the line, and you just see it, and you're going like that, and it's soft. That's a very good soft pretzel. Now, also the salt distribution is very, very important. So what happens sometimes is they'll take the soft pretzel after they cook it and then put water on it and just, bam, blab it on the salt, and then you get just a clunk of salt right there in the middle, and you can't scrape it off. It's too much. You have to have even salt distribution. Now, it's tough to get an A from me. All right, so I do grades every high school basketball game that I go to. I grade these soft pretzels. So that's what goes into having a good soft pretzel. And what we're going to do here, every show, we're going to have a ranking. All right, so we're going to start today with number 5. We're going to have a top 5 soft pretzel in the Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky area. Now, coming in at number 5 is St. Xavier High School. And I'll tell you the story behind this. So like I said, I tweet about the Cincinnati Prep Pretzel Report, and a lot of kids hear about it, and the parents work the concession stand at these high school basketball games, and one of the kids told a parent that, hey, Alex Meacham is going to be at the high school basketball game. Make sure you give him a good soft pretzel. So I walk up to the concession stand, and a lady came to help me. She said, what would you like? I said, I'll take a soft pretzel. She said, you want some mustard? No. See, I don't do mustard either. I just eat the thing plain. She says, okay. And as she turned around, a gentleman touched her shoulder and said, I got this. And I looked at him, didn't know him. He went and got my soft pretzel, handed it to me. He goes, I know about the report. So I'm kind of taken back. His son has told him about the report, and he wanted to make sure I had a very good soft pretzel. That's good service right there. He went out of his way, and he tried to make a good soft pretzel for me. I appreciate that. I'm not sure what your name is, sir, but I appreciate you. Now, I gave that pretzel a B, though. There were some parts to it that were a little bit cooked too long. The salt distribution, but I give the school a B for the soft pretzel, but I give him an A for the service. So coming in number 5 is St. X. Next week we'll go over number 4, and we'll get all the way down to number 1, the number 1 soft pretzel at the high school in the Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky area. So I want to thank everybody for checking in with the Cincinnati Prep Pretzel Report. And remember, like always, power to the pretzel. Welcome back to Center Court. Our guest right now is Jack Sullivan, who's a senior at St. X High School. Now, Jack used to play basketball, played baseball, but he has a passion right now for music. I want to talk to him a little bit about his passion for music and how he transitioned from sports to music. So, Jack, what's going on, man?
How you doing?
Good?
Yeah.
You doing all right?
Good.
Nice coat?
Yeah.
Shirt with the,
like the Tigers.
Tigers. What's the story behind that?
I don't know, man. I was walking in Urban Outfitters.
Right.
Looked pretty good. Looked like it fit my body nice. So I went and had
Fit the body nice?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it.
All right, we got to develop.
The ladies love it though. So.
Oh, do they?
You need a better story for that?
You need a better story, but
Oh, yeah.
as long as the ladies love
The
it.
ladies love it. I know it's what you're all about. So.
That's right. So ladies out there that are watching, all 2 of you, please get on Twitter and tell us what you think of his Tiger shirt.
Yeah.
So you played basketball
That's right.
and baseball. Tell us a little bit about that.
I played basketball since I was like, 4 years old, all the way up to 8th grade. I did the whole baseball, basketball, football, all throughout grade school. Got to high school, played baseball and football. Played football for my first 2 years, then stopped to focus on baseball. And then this junior summer was actually my first year not playing baseball because I discovered my passion for music and chose to like single that out and pursue that.
How hard was it to stop playing baseball?
It was like a really awkward time because I was always known as like a sports guy, and so like transitioning into like being the music guy was kind of an awkward situation.
So you're pretty good at baseball?
Yeah, I was alright.
What position?
Shortstop.
Okay.
Yeah, started for X.
Now, where did your passion for music come from? Like, where'd that all start?
When I got my first guitar.
When was that?
Back in grade school,
Okay.
like 4th grade. Played in a Blink-182 cover band throughout grade school.
Okay.
And then I got the
Wait, what
Mac,
was your band called?
the Blink-182 cover band.
All right, creative with the name.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, then I got a Mac, 8th grade. Started messing around on GarageBand and discovered I was like pretty good at it. So I kept going and I really just fell in love with it.
Good.
Yeah.
And so what do you plan to do with it? Like, where do you envision yourself 5, 10 years from now?
I mean, obviously, hopefully in a music career. Hopefully producing for major artists is kind of where I hope to go with it. Wouldn't mind being an artist myself, but, you know, leaving the options open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do it all.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So we met, gosh, I don't know how many years ago it was that you and I first met, but I knew you as a basketball player originally,
Right.
and then did the baseball thing. We always saw each other at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were doing this show, you and I had talked before about music and your interest in music, and I love music, and I asked you to come aboard and help out and do the outro
Right.
for the show. So now our new outro for the show is produced by you.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about what that's like, the process, how you go about, you know, creating the music.
First, obviously, I got like your input on kind of like what the style and genre, what you wanted. Then I went around and just listened to a bunch of stuff, got a lot of like feel from a bunch of the music that you like gave me, and then I kind of messed around the piano, came up with like a piano riff, and then I went from there. So.
Now, does this stuff come pretty easy to you, or is it something you really have to, like, really just sit down and think about, or does it just come real natural?
I mean, yeah, I went down and like sat at the piano and kind of messed around for probably 20 minutes before I got that riff. And then I took it into my computer, put that down, and then started laying like drum tracks down and everything. And then after I had like the main beat down, I put like little sweeteners in there just to make it interesting.
Little sweeteners?
Little sweeteners, that's what I
Okay.
call them.
Little sweeteners.
That's right.
Sweet and low.
So yeah, it really didn't take that long. It kind of came. I mean, obviously I had that first try that didn't go right, but.
Well, that's all. It's all a process.
It's all a
Getting
process.
into where.
That's right.
That's right. So what I want to do is everybody that comes on the show, what we do is we have them sign the basketball,
Okay.
and you're going to be
man. It's a privilege.
right. You're going to be a big famous star one day and see. One of our producers and editors of the show, Sam Dunn, bought me this Justin Bieber
Oh man.
Brush Buddies toothbrush.
I know you love Bieber.
Bieber's the man. Well, he's in a little trouble right now, so he's going to have to clean up his brush up his act. So one day you might have your own
Hopefully.
toothbrush.
Yeah, you know you made it when you got your own toothbrush.
That's big time,
That's
right?
right.
See, he's got the full leather coat. You only have the leather sleeves,
Yeah.
so
So
maybe you'll have the full.
I'm getting there.
You're getting there.
I'm getting there.
So as you sign the basketball here, did my Bieber brush just fall? That's all right. We need to get him a assistant producer. We need a actual ink pen. We've lost our ink pen, our marker. Does that work all right?
Yeah.
So while you sign that, I always ask every person a Jay-Z question.
Okay.
What's your knowledge of Jay-Z?
Not like yours.
Well, not a lot of people that come on the show have the Jay-Z knowledge
That's
like
right.
me. So I'll ask you a Jay-Z question.
All right.
And see how you do.
Mhm.
You ready?
Mhm.
Since you're younger, how old are you?
18.
18? I'll go off of the latest album, Magna Carta, Holy Grail.
Right.
Did you listen to that album?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Okay. Can you guess which was my favorite song off of that album? What do you think was my favorite song? Now, you know I'm a deep thinker.
It's gonna be one that's not on radio
Correct.
because it usually doesn't have a lot of content to them. Man. Can you give me like a hint?
Nope.
No hint?
I think it's towards the end. I think it's the song towards the end of the CD.
Is it a short song?
No.
No?
You're thinking of Beach is Better.
That's right.
And that would have been a nice long song. It's a little more...
I have no idea.
Right now, my favorite song is Crown. Have you heard that?
Crown. Oh, I know why you like, because it was produced by that 16-year-old girl, right?
Exactly.
That's right.
So that kind of, you could take a lot from that.
Mm-hmm.
In that this is a 16-year-old girl who's produced a song, and now her song is part of a Jay-Z album, and he's one of the biggest artists in the world right now.
That's right.
And now she's become famous off of that. So
Mm-hmm.
could happen to you.
You never know.
You could produce my favorite Jay-Z song next. Think?
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
All right. So hey, right now we're actually gonna end the show and go right into the beat you made, the outro. Do we have a name for it? You want to give it a?
Give it a name?
Right here live.
The Meach. It's called The Meach.
The Meach?
The Meach.
I think I like that. That sounds like it's going to go platinum.
Yeah. All right, yeah.
Think?
The Meach.
We'll go with that.
We'll go with it.
So, I want to thank Jack Sullivan and all our guests here that were on Center Court. Enjoy the outro. Beebs is the man.
Yeah. So.
You see this right here?
That's Bieber, man.
You brush your teeth and listen to Beebs. Beebs and brush.
Yeah. Now I will forever associate Justin Bieber with plaque removal.
Yeah.
And this is. You must have got this at Walgreens or like. Did you?
No.
Did you order it off the Beebs website?
No, it was.
Brush
what was
Buddies.
it?
It says Brush Buddies. Brush Buddies.
Where did I get that?
Who do you want to thank? Who you
Huh?
want to thank?
Oh.
Then you
I want
burp.
to thank.
Belch and then.
Kroger for that belch.
Hold on, let me get myself together here. There's a lot of people that were very influential. I want to thank African Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation.
I see where that's relevant.
Yeah, DJ Kool Herc. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have this toothbrush.
Oh boy! All right, I'm sorry. That's just dumb, but okay. All right.
It works. It works.
It works, yeah.